Welcome everyone to the DecalsLab SBR Group 3 League. It's Red Bull Ring Race 2, and now it's time for round 6 of this SBR Group 3 season, the penultimate round. It is reverse race, a Red Bull Ring, and as you can see it is wet. Not quite as wet as we saw at Spa, but intermediate tyre conditions. And it's Brian who leads away from Andrew, Coleman, Matt, Jake and Liam starting in 5th and 6th. Some eyes will be on them. Well in 7th, Adam in 8th. That's one of the Mercedes. I think that's Chris on the attack of Adam. And Matt already having a look at Coleman. So Mercedes power versus Chevrolet power up the hill towards turn 3. It's the new Mercedes team for this round. A brilliant livery on those cars. If you're on the SBR page, not too long in the future, you'll be getting to see some of the Season 6 cars. But Matt's got it all wrong. That's the Jake through. Well has passed Liam. But it's still Brian from Andrew, Matt, Jake. Matt and Jake, good friends. As Matt's gone deep. Oh, and Matt's spun there, whether Jake's turned him round or Matt's cut across him. Jake's still going. Nothing was raised after the race, so all was fine there. Wells having a go at Coleman. Liam and Adam waiting to pick up any scraps. And there it might be. Well getting pushed a bit wide. And now Liam's just got ahead into the second to last corner. Adam now trying around the outside. That's going to be a brave one. The Porsche good in the wet. I'm not sure it's quite that good. And Jake now onto the back of these two. We saw him absolutely run away, or not run away, but win in Spa in worse conditions than these. And Brian going a bit wide there. Porsche not going to have the grunt up the hill. Liam now looking at Coleman. Coleman's a smart racer. He knows if you're quicker than him, he's not going to put up a serious fight. Something I'm sure a lot of people could learn from. Not to fight a car that's quicker than you. You can sometimes follow them along. Especially in races with pit stops. Someone could be an entire pit stop ahead and you have cars fight them. But that's wide from Andrew. Is that Jake's chance? It is. That Porsche is going to out-traction it. Jake gets ahead. Bobby is up to 6th place. He's ahead of Lewis, who's now ahead of Nathan. So Adam's been a big loser there, along with Well. Sideways from Lewis. He tries to pass that Aston. This track is frustrating if you're in a lower powered car. You can be so much quicker over a lap, but it's just so hard to pass. We saw that in Season 3 when there was about a 7-car fight for, I think it was about 5th place or 4th place, something like that. But Jake now into the lead, so he's passed Brian, he's off into the lead. And Andrew's come from a long way back. He's hit into Brian. Liam's hit into Andrew and he's had nowhere to go. Liam spins around. Liam at that time looking like the most likely to challenge Jake. And it looks like he's now going to have a drag race with Ben. Up towards turn 4. And the two side by side. Liam spinning again. Whether the tyres had overheated from the previous spin. But what was going from looking like he could be one of the ones to challenge Jake to all the way at the back. So not a good event for Liam. So still Brian 2nd, Andrew 3rd. They're holding their own as it is just now, bar Jake. As he's come storming through. Is this Lewis through on Bobby? Side by side. Lewis has to give the space. And if they're still side by side, the Aston should power past down the inside. Everyone knows Lewis, he'll try and hold this one up around the outside. Little bit of contact. Little more contact. Still side by side. Nathan's trying to get involved now. Is Nathan going to make it 3 wide, or is he going to pick someone to bump? Might have potentially bumped Bobby there. And is Nathan going to go into the gap? No, they're still side by side. Lewis goes a bit wide off the track though. And eventually slots in behind. Now Coleman is going to have a go at Andrew. And that should be moved on. He gets the traction. Andrew gets very bad traction. His teammate goes through. Lewis might just follow through as well. Lewis does follow through. I think we're breaking down the inside in the wet. Nathan now coming through. It's not been a good lap for Andrew so far. Sean might even come through. There's a big gaggle fighting. But no, the two Mazdas still behind the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, it's Matt, Will, Liam, Cozzy, and Adam. Cozzy and Adam at the back as Cozzy got his braking quite wrong into turn 1. Took Adam out, and well, after this race, Cozzy has been removed from the league. There's too much crashing, not enough holding his hands up. Sometimes fighting your corner is fighting a losing battle. Cozzy seems to think that with every incident he had. Now Lewis with a great run out of turn 1. The Alpha going to try and power past the Corvette, not something it normally does, but under brakes and traction, especially out of this hairpin. Oh, there was a chain reaction back there with Coleman. I believe it started with Andrew. Andrew into Nathan, into Bobby, into Coleman. Oh well. Andrew was penalised for that one, if I recall correctly. And Nathan actually gains out of that. He's up to 4th. He was the one that was initially hit. So the M6, which Nathan was not happy with its wet performance at Spa, certainly going well in the wet at Red Bull Ring. He has Ben behind him, then Bobby, Sean, Andrew a little further back after causing the crash, and he has the 2 Mercedes behind him. Well, Lewis coming through on Brian, down the inside into turn 1. As Cress on well, looks like Cress was off the track. He's picked up a penalty. Let's hope he hasn't been able to attempt a move because of going off. Side by side through the hairpin. Which car will get the better traction? It's the Mercedes. The Mercedes, a brilliant car. It's Cozzy, Adam, and Coleman. Liam's retired from the race. Bobby having a little look at Ben. Brian still holding on in 3rd place, a great drive from him. But he'll look behind, see Nathan, see Ben, see Bobby and see Sean and think, oh dear. So Andrew is now going to be next with this little pack chasing down on him. With Chris, who's making a one-off appearance in the Mercedes. Is this gonna be P3 for Nathan? How long does he sit behind Brian? Oh, Nathan actually gets a big tank slapper. Bobby goes past. Is Sean gonna go past as well? They're certainly gonna go side by side up towards the hairpin. Nathan will have the inside, Sean will have the momentum. It's gonna be a drag race down to turn 4. Which they're still practically side by side. Sean's still gonna hold it around the outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Sean gets a little sideways. That happens in these conditions. Well, the two Mercedes all fighting behind Andrew. Rusty keeps his place ahead of Will. Colsey has joined this. Well, I can probably spoiler you this. He was removed from both races. And there's Ben behind Brian. 2 laps to go. There's Lewis and, well, comfortably clear Jake. He's pretty much proving he's a wet master in these 2 rounds we've had. He came from the back in Spa to win it. He started a bit higher up in this race, but he's absolutely walking it right now. This pack behind Brian and this pack behind Andrew. There's Chris, gonna get a move done this time around. Is he gonna get that stopped? He does. He's past Andrew. Will is up next. Colsey is past Matt. And Ben goes for it and Brian. Ben's nudged Brian out and that's put Brian into Bobby's line. And Brian around. So a shame for Brian. Sets in P7. Bobby waits. Deemed as a racing incident. The stewards decided that after they saw multiple angles of the crash. But it was down to P6 for Brian. Well, that's put him right into this pack. With Will, both Mercedes, Bobby. Is Bobby gonna come straight back down the inside? He is. Chris puts himself in the open door that was made. We're approaching the final lap now. Jake's got his own gap, Lewis has his own gap. Ben probably safe from Nathan. Our reigning champion Nathan ahead of Sean. And Bobby, Chris, Brian, Andrew and Matt side by side. Just the Mercedes certainly in the wars. Is this Matt coming through? Andrew turns in, doesn't quite see the Mercedes. Gets the favour returned on the exit. Coming up to the final corner. It's gonna be Jake. He makes it 2 from 2 in wet races. Keeps himself in this title fight. Lewis rises to finish second place. The Alpha also proving it's a great car in the rain. Ben will take third. He's up to Zach today. Nathan fourth. Sean fifth. So another great race for GoPro Mazda. Bobby will take sixth. Chris seventh. Brian a brilliant eighth. Matt ninth. Cosy 10th. And Andrew West. So let's take a look at the points. It's Sean in lead with 85, ahead of Nathan on 73, Jake on 71, Lewis on 62, Ben on 62, Bobby on 54, Liam on 37, Adam on 33, Will on 27, Chris on 18, Coleman on 12, Matt 8, Brian 7th, and Andrew on 4 points. For the constructors, it is GoPro Mazda with a healthy lead over the Correos Porsche team, Black Death BMW with 100 points, 64 for Hankook Alfa Romeo, 31 for the Sega Hedgehogs team, 26 for Original Tyler Mercedes, and 19 for Falcon Tire Chevrolet. So join us next week when it is a double points 1 hour at the Nordschleife, and of course check out our sponsors at DecalsLab, who've kindly sponsored the league. And yeah, we will see you next week for the season decider.